Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Go ahead, buddy.
More importantly, special guest Phillip Solomon, cast member, Deal or No Deal Island, Season 2. Phillip, thank you for joining us.
Don't say more importantly. I promise you two are far more significant than I will ever be here. I promise.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
no, no, man. Cast member of the show, one of the only people who walked away with some cash. Now, maybe not as much cash as David walked away with, but
Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, I won more than all the winners of traders, and that's not bad. That is not bad.
no, no, not at all. I think we were said from the jump that Peacock we thought was pretty damn generous with that prize pool in that game. I don't think that the prize money was something that you would have to stress over. There's plenty of other things we would stress over, but not that.
So many.
So I think safe to say you are a reality TV fan.
A huge reality TV fan, all of it from competition reality, Survivor, Big Brother, Drag Race, to even like situational reality from like, I don't know, Housewives and all that other stuff. Like if you go back to Real World season like 1 and 2, even though I was not that old for it, by the time I went back and watched all those. So like I've been in it for the long haul.
We're the same way. I mean,
Yep.
we grew up watching Real World when you're 11 or 12 years old on MTV, and you shouldn't be. And everything was marathons all the time. So you really, again, it's like being Brian, and that's kind of the premise of the channel is that there are just a ton of guys, whether you're like with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, your partner, and it's like a lot of people are watching these things right now, say as part of relationships, or I think it's becoming a little bit more pop culture acceptable now in the last year or two, but. Like we grew up on this stuff, man. This, we have it's not just sports and stuff we grew up on, right? Like we grew up on watching Real World, man. We grew up on watching the Challenge, old school Challenge. We grew up on watching Survivor. We're all like we're in our 30s, right? So it's like
Jersey Shore.
time.
I
What?
mean,
Jersey
okay,
Shore.
well, yes, I was in college for that. I hung out with Snooki at a few college fraternity parties. So before she shot season 1, she hung because I went to school in like northern New Jersey. I worked at Abercrombie with the situation and his wife. Like that's how strongly tied to New Jersey I am, my friends.
You
Warren.
worked at Abercrombie?
I mean, are you
I worked at
surprised?
Hollister. I worked at Hollister when I was in high school.
Ooh, you were one of
Yeah, I was
those.
one
All
of those.
right.
I didn't graduate up to Abercrombie. Were you a front person or a back person? Like a greeter or like a stock person?
I was a greeter. I was
Okay.
a greeter. It was after I had lost all the weight, so I was a greeter. Thank
Okay.
you.
I was a greeter too, but I had way more fun in the back.
So much more
Yeah,
fun,
so
of
much more
course,
fun. So much more
please.
fun.
Retail problem, retail. So I've seen too recently, if you've been doing some stuff, you're friends with a friend of ours, our buddy Johnny Fairplay.
Oh, my boy, yes. I think that everyone has a loud, problematic friend that probably drinks a little too much, and he is mine. And I think that that's great. I think that everyone needs one where you're like, I wish I could do the things that you do, and he's mine.
We've had Johnny on the show. We've talked about wanting to do something together with his whole reality network and stuff. So that's definitely out there. Good, Johnny's good people for sure. So should give a shout
He has
out to him.
been absolutely amazing. He is the kind of friend that will say your name in a room that you're not in. And especially like with that like oversaturation of like reality and everything else like that. You need
Yeah.
that. You need someone where they're like, do you have anyone from like for next season of House of Villains or this or that or whatever else? And he's like, actually, I know a guy. He is great at just kind of building relationships and helping other people be the best version of themselves.
Oh, I agree with that for sure. As far as different personalities we've come across, it's like me and Brian were like a little shook. He's like, I'll talk to you guys about doing stuff. We're like, us? We're like, who the hell are we? Right? Like, we're like, so again, it's so different. We've dealt with some people, not to like to hate on anyone we've ever interviewed or interacted with, but
No,
like
no, no, hate on him. Go ahead.
we've dealt with people way less profile than Johnny who are way less generous, right? Or way
Yes.
more big timey towards you. And it's like, okay, I guess like way more important people have been nice to us. Like you don't have to be an asshole.
Mm.
Like
Yeah, he is absolutely great to the people he likes. Eh?
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
lucky. So Philip, obviously reality fan, so I know that could be a part of the motivation, but how did you land on applying? How did the whole Deal or No Deal Island journey start for you?
So for me, I had been through like some final casting processes for the real world when I was like 21, again when I was 23. And then I was in finals for The Circle, I want to say season 5, maybe. So like just in getting to interview for these shows and stuff like that, I like became close with casting producers and directors, and I just like wasn't the guy that they needed at that point. So I finally just kind of stopped applying, and they found me on Instagram. And I was like, you know what? Let the Lord do it. And he was like, okay, it's now. And I was like, all right, cool. So in getting to really kind of talk to them, what I don't want to say that they look for certain like archetypes, but they do look for like certain
But they
types.
do look for certain archetypes.
Right. I think in my head, they were looking for a personal trainer. I lift weights. I like pick things up and put them back down. And then after a while, once they spoke to me and they realized that like weightlifter, bodybuilder with a story, with a heart in education, compassion, and empathy, they were like, whoa, this is so much better than what we thought we were gonna get. And so with that, they were like, oh, so you have what we want plus even more.
That's
And you
good.
worked at Abercrombie.
I mean, and I worked at Abercrombie
That's why
and
you got the
Fitch.
job. This guy knows how to fold some clothes and greet.
I do still to this day.
Yeah.
Those are skills I get. I was a lifeguard. You know, like that's there's like I guess CPR, right? But folding clothes and all that. That's way more of a
The
transferable skill.
discounts, dude. The discounts were what people came to you for. It was
I
a
mean,
gift
to be
card.
honest, as someone who still doesn't really know how to swim, I could have used that job. I'll tell you that. I probably could have used that job. The two skills that I had, making relationships and saying hi to others, I used all those skills, but I could have also used swimming, would have been great at any point.
That was just like a cop out job for me. I was like on the swim team, right? It was just like, oh, I'm already here at the pool. Now I just gotta climb up on the chair, right? Like it really was like me not really spreading my wings too far there. All right, so you find out it's Deal or No Deal Island. You go and hit the island. Some celebrities there. I mean, I think everyone was pretty or became aware of Parvati pretty quick. Now, refresh my memory. Like you knew who Parvati was, right?
I was actually the first cast member that brought it up to her. I might have been the first cast member to actually figure it out. So when we're like getting to the undisclosed island, we're like hopping off the airplane. There's not that many of us on it because it literally is a remote island. So there's like 25 of us on there. And I'm like, this is the smallest plane I've ever been on in my whole life. And then we land on like the black top of like an elementary school. And I was like, this is where I die. And I watch people get off the plane and hat, sunglasses, face mask, hoodie. I was like, Parvati Shallow, immediately clocked it. Immediately, she like tried to like hide it. She had the long hair in front of her face, like the girl from like The Ring. And I was like, Parvati Shallow, immediately.
Oh my God. Oh, what's
But
the
not
girl from
David. No, was anybody actually picking up David, or was like Dr. Will just playing a part here?
So the
like
thing
Samara?
with David, and like again, now that I'm in this world, I do understand it, but like no one had ever watched Australian Survivor to the point where we didn't know Australian Survivor was even a show. So when you hear us asking that, we genuinely don't know. Don't get me wrong. I went back and watched this entire current season because you're not going to make me look stupid twice. But what I will say is that at that time, we had no idea that that was like a thing. He was a YouTuber that had an apartment in New York, and he was a former runway model, which is all true. Like it, like he just kind of left out those
Yeah.
2 to 3 years that he was playing Australian Survivor.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Makes
no,
sense.
big leave out there. Another thing that I've come to him and Brian and I've come to find out that it's not that maybe that it's surprising, but I want to know one if you agree with it and does it kind of ruin it for you? It's like so. Dr. Will's like a really nice guy, apparently. Like in real life, he's like apparently like one of the, like the nicest dudes. And like, does one is that true? And two, if it is true, like does that ruin it for you though? That it turns out like after the fact you found out he was like a super great guy.
Ironically, it does not ruin it. It makes it so much better. Here's what like everyone needs to understand. And if you go back to his first Big Brother season, you understand that the deal with Dr. Will is He makes you hate him immediately. Then he comes around, and then like halfway through, you're like, I think I love this man. Like that's his brand, what he does. And what I will say about Dr. Will is he is exactly like Johnny Hairplay. He will say your name in a room that you're not in. He will help you out with anything. He said, if anyone needs skincare or whatever else, I run laser away. As soon as we leave, I'll hook you up. We all get free lasers. Look, there's not a hair on me. We all get free lasers. That's number one. As soon as Maria Grace was like, I'm from this small town in South Carolina, and I know that I meant for so much more. I want to move out to a big city. He moved her out to LA and hired her. Like, I am telling you right now, all the things he said on the island, he has followed through with each and every one. So I know we want him to be like a super villain per se, but at the end of the day, I think it really helps to know that his daughter is about, I want to say 12. And so she knows that she has like a big reality TV dad, but she's never seen him on a show. So he was watching the show with her and she was like, oh, you should go on this one. And he said, I will come out of retirement and do this for you. And the moment you know that, everything else after it, you're like, that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you believe
we can watch Big Brother that much? So we don't
we've
really
been
know
Big
these
Brother
guys.
haters at times for sure. I mean, we can't back down from now.
It's so
crowd
long. It
knows.
is so long and involved for months, 3 episodes a week. It's so long.
It's
Yeah,
not that.
it's corny. It's corny.
It's the
Fair.
corniness. It's the corniness gets us. There's only so much we can take. Like we'll watch Love Island. We do like the everyday reviews, right? But there's just something about the challenges, and
Yeah.
it just gets us. Like you mentioned that I was gonna say you were talking about different shows. Like you would have been great on Real World. You would have been wasted on The Circle. You're too cool. You were too
Yeah.
cool for
Yeah,
that.
we don't like the circle either.
The Circle.
Thank
We
you.
did a lot of seasons of it. We did like 5, 6 seasons. So we reviewed a lot of it. But again, it got too corny. Like we couldn't deal with the circle, blah blah blah, hug face emoji. Like, no, just oh my god,
It's
just
not
type.
it's not an accurate depiction of the internet.
It is not. The only reason that I was so excited about it is that I knew that I wouldn't get into arguments with other people because I'd be in a room alone. I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
Maybe this is the best for you because you won't be a sloppy hot mess if you're just in a room alone.
Ryan, I would do The Circle over Survivor now. I would tell you that.
Oh, I don't know about that, man.
Bro,
I'm not a good liar.
I'm
I'm not a
not
good
laying
liar.
out. I'm not sleeping in the sand and listening to
I
songs.
couldn't send these fake messages to people. I couldn't.
You could just
Season
ignore
one
it.
was good. We enjoyed season one. I
Season one
thought
was
was good.
yes.
That was good.
Yes,
But
please,
then it
please
just
do.
started to get like too ridiculous and like
Nothing's
popcorn.
ever the same on that type of show. Once it's been seen once, it loses any of like. We've been doing a lot of the cast interviews with the $1 Million Secret Guys from Netflix, right? And
Yeah, totally.
it'll be a good show going forward, but it'll never be the same as the first season because now everyone knows the playbook for the most part, right? Just like any show.
Yeah, I think I do have some hot takes on that. I wanted to hate $1 Million Secret. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, it's like Traders, but not. Literally by the end of episode 1, I had a snack. I was there like this. I was like, let's go. Like I was so excited about it. It was my like sneaker hit of like the year because I was not ready for it to be as good as it was. And I was like, okay, listen, there are some things that we could work around for season 2. Sure, great.
For
But as
sure.
a whole, so good.
That's some
Do you
forensic
agree
fire
with
right
us?
there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you agree with us that the clues were bullshit though? They were too powerful.
Okay. Yes and no. I do think that if you were able to do whatever it was in a low-key one-on-one way, the clues did not necessarily rat you out. If Phillip, for example, had Sydney scream into the walkie-talkie as like an instruction, no one else would have ever heard that other than her. So like I think that then the clue wouldn't have like I just think it had to be done one-on-one. And again, I wasn't always in this state of mind, but when you hang out with Dr. Will and Parvati and David for a month and a half, you start to think about things different. You see the world different and you're like, oh, okay, so this is easy. You just have to like figure out how to work your way around X, Y, and Z.
I fully agree. I think that the kind of joke we were making, like pre-show, it's like we just watched so many damn episodes of shows. We watch them definitely way differently than, and we try to take that into account when we can. Like we're definitely not watching it maybe how an average viewer per se, or a super fan of a show that will just kind of have the blinders to bad things. We criti
You're not that.
criticize the
You're not
thousand
that.
episodes of a show of shows. It's kind of hard for us. So we want to ask. So we know you. It's funny. It came up pre-show, but so we reviewed you guys as a season. We reviewed every episode. I want
Okay, I don't know if
you.
you did every episode. Like,
We
did
we
you make
missed
it all
some.
the way
We
through?
may
missed
miss.
some.
We both have young children.
Yep.
Things
And there's
do
only two of
happen
us.
sometimes. But I want you to review our review of you guys. Where do we get it right? Where do we get it wrong? Were we fair? Were we not fair? What do you think?
I mean, okay. Here's what's hard. I love and respect you both because now that I've been hosting reality after show and doing all that other stuff, like it's hard to like stay with it. But I will say, y'all made it up to like episode 9 of 12, and you were like, I throw in the towel. I'm good. Like, I'm like, you gotta see it through. You gotta push us through. And before I even knew I had this, I'm someone that like I want to get all the information. I want to like see what's out there, see how people are like reacting. So like I was a listener and a viewer before this, before like I was even on this side of it, that I was like, oh, cool. Someone else is reviewing the show. And I think that, I think you would have had a much better time if you would have focused on the civilians instead of the celebrities,
Yeah.
because the celebrities were so much fun to watch. But if you really go back, the civilians were ape shit crazy. And like, if you really go back and do all that, you're like, but wait, why are these people doing what they're doing? And if you really try and like read the motivation and stuff along with it, I think it's a far more interesting show. What I will say in your defense, the show, I love it with my whole heart, changed my life and everything else after it. But it gave no backstory, no history. We didn't even get to introduce ourselves. So when you find out things like Luke, who made it out in episode 1, when you go back to that and you really like do the research, he was out of marriage. He was in a divorce by 3 weeks. 3 weeks out, he was just starting to kind of try and find his own voice again as an individual. He was on the show to get the money to pay his dad back for getting him through the divorce. He said it once, but it happened like so quick, so fast.
I
So
remember
then
that.
he never went to culinary school. And then he taught himself everything he knows. And now he's like the #1 celebrity chef for all the athletes in the entire state of Wisconsin. Like there were so many cool things that you guys missed out on that just the show didn't air.
Mhm.
So I don't think we were very likable characters if you just watch the show. If you do like a little bit more research, sure. But if you just watch the show, I was annoyed by Me Too. Like they gave me a full, what I like to call rolly backpack kid energy edit. You know, that kid that you're like, why is your backpack rolling in the middle of the hall? Like you're like that is an annoying kid. That's the edit that they threw at me for no reason.
I will say I don't it could be wrong. I don't think I ever said that you were annoying, but I'm gonna ask you a serious question. I want you to tell the truth about this question right here. If you're gonna say
Go.
the truth about anything on this review, how annoying was it to hear about mom and dad nonstop?
Ooh, that was an ick. The amount of confessionals they didn't air of me
Oh
going,
no.
like full Jim from The Office. Like they would talk to one another and I would go, ick, right into the camera. Like I didn't even care. I didn't care. I didn't care. And they didn't air it. And I hope that one day they're like the deleted clips of me going full Office and staring into the camera and being like, I hate this. I would do it every day.
I still think that's one of the cringest things of the year.
Was that kid for real? Like, was that kid for real? Like, was he?
Okay,
Did he really?
let's
Like,
call it what it is. I love Dixon, but he's like 26. So like we have to stop infantilizing. Like we can't keep turning him into a kid. He has like his own health insurance. Like we can't keep doing this.
it's true. He can rent a car now.
Right? He can rent a car. He has insurance. Like he's good.
I think I'm saying that almost like dismissively, probably more than like I actually think he's like a child. Like,
No,
He was
but like
also
you
standing next to
and
David.
everyone else, they were like, I feel so bad for that kid. I was like, guys.
Yeah. And he was standing next to David all the time. He was like a Goliath.
He's so big. You guys
Yeah.
don't like realize how big he is. He's a large man, and like
Yeah.
I'm a large man, but like he's a large
Yeah,
man.
he was a big dude. Yeah, that was cringe. That really, I think when that started happening, that's when I was like, I'm ready for the show to end.
Yeah, you
That's
guys
me
were not
being
a big
honest.
fan of the named alliances, from what I
Oh
remember. No,
no,
like I
hate
was like,
that.
okay,
Hate
that's
named
fair.
alliances.
Well, it matters if they're cringe or not.
Yeah,
That's all. Like it's we talk about Big Brother, right?
that's Big
The
Brother. Yep,
cringe
yep, yep,
alliance.
yep, 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 yep.
I can't do that thing where they all get into like a room and they're like, yo, we're all gonna align and take out this one. And they're like, yo, we need a name. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
We
There you
don't.
go.
No other group of friends has a name
The
because
beginning
it's
of the end,
weird.
right
So,
there.
okay,
That's
that's
the
fair.
beginning of the end. Once you get the name, it's down. It's out.
Always bad.
It's like a
Always
sense
bad.
of entitlement almost. It's like we're a
Yeah.
crew. We gotta watch. It's like a wrestling. It's like a wrestling faction. Like
They're
we're
like, we can't hang out with you. You're not a part of Three Blind Mice. Am I right? I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. We
you're
are
either with
adults.
us, you're against us. It's like, what if your three dudes is that kid? Like, are you like? Let's think about this for a second. And one of them's Parvati. She will betray you, right? You do get it. So, all right. So Parvati comes up, right?
All
You
right,
have
let's do it. Let's
yeah.
do it. Let's
So I mean,
go.
look. I mean, how legit was it at the time, the beef? They portrayed you as big mad. Like they portrayed you as very like
Yes.
big mad online almost at Parvati. How much of that is accurate? And now, like, is it all good now? Is there any residual kind of leftover feelings from the show?
Easy. I'll give you the Spark Notes version, but it's kind of a long story, so we're gonna have to extend this episode like a little bit. Oh, so
You're
the
fine.
Spark Notes version of it all is we were on our way to, I want to say excursion number 2. We have to like travel there in like a van, a bus, depending on where it is. So that's when we were talking about like her sending her daughter to school, me being a teacher, and then it really went into like my schooling experience was not necessarily a safe place. Like I didn't look like everyone else, being the only face of color and being overweight and having like all these other things. I was like, I was bullied a lot. That conversation took place off camera, no mics, no camera at all. So when you guys watch it get brought up, that was the first time we discussed it on camera. And so that's why you see me have this weird visceral reaction of like, what? And like and it really does take me by surprise because she goes, and that's why we have to get Dr. Will out. And I was like, you're using this for the game. Like it's so weird as adults. We never have people in our normal everyday lives be like, okay, I just separated the bread and the eggs over here in 2 separate bags, just like your parents were separated when you were 8. Like it's such a weird
Well,
flex
this is
to
what this
do that.
girl
You're like,
does,
why would
though,
you
right?
say
Like that's
that?
her life. Like this is
Right. And
Yeah,
so
that's why she's a
like they
survivor
don't do
good.
anything else. Like this is what they do.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like that was the reaction that I had. And then here's what you guys did not see. The next morning is when I lost my mind and my head spun all the way around. And I was like, you're an awful person. And then that night, I went back to her again. They did not air this as an exclusive just for y'all. I went back that night and I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Can we do this again? And I heard her out. She heard me out. We hugged it out. We gave them a nice little NBC wrap it up with a bow moment. There was a nice little full house Danny Tanner hug. We went to bed that night. I didn't know that they were only going to air the morning and then not air that night. And also, yes, I was that mad, but understand, although it did go for 3 episodes, that was 48 hours. So like I was mad for 48 hours. Like let me be mad.
That is really interesting, frankly, because again, it's stressed. I mean, it was literally almost a month. You were mad for a month.
I was mad for a month, according to the internet.
Because one of my questions is going to be is like, what team are you on for the upcoming Survivor season? Who are you rooting for here?
After I've played with them both, I think that Parvati is sneakier than David is. I think that
100%.
it's really one of the things that you have to take into account with our game. It's why I hate our game and love our game. If it came down to majority, we could have voted Parvati out immediately. Don't worry. We wanted to. So for everyone on the internet that's like, why are they letting them hang around? Are they stupid? No, we're not. But let's just use you, Brian, as an example. We want to get Brian out. Survivor, just get the numbers, vote him out. Our game. Do I partner with Brian? Do I know if we're working against each other or are we working together in a partnership. Then I have to make sure that Brian is eligible for elimination that night. Then I have to decide if Brian's going to play, because then he might win and stay and send home one of my friends, or if I get one of my friends to play and hopefully not lose, and then trust that what they've said is they're going to send Brian home. And that is why it's not as easy as like Survivor. You need more than the numbers. We have to go through like step 1 through 8 before one person can go home.
I want to get your opinion on this because you made a really good point. And this is something that I realized though watching. First of all, I love Deal or No Deal. It's a kind of a running joke. Like I actually always have enjoyed Deal or No Deal, all the years, the Howie Mandel years. But I want, as a contestant, and maybe see if you have a suggestion here. I think my problem comes down to with the game itself, with the Deal or No Deal game, is that really, for all intents and purposes, and someone finally figured it. I forget who vocalized it, but someone figured it out by the end. It's like, you're just basically getting to a 50-50 flip at the end, right? Get down to 2 cases and 50-50 flip. And like, I think after a while to me now that part was losing me a little bit. It's like, is there anything, I mean, I know it's Deal or No Deal Island, but like, is there anything you think the game can do to maybe spice up the eliminations a little bit?
So for me, I think that as far as the game itself, it does work if you know how to play it. The issue is we're told to bank as much money as possible. So you see us going on round after round after round. If I were to go back, if they were to give me a call tomorrow and say, Pack, for season 3, we're bringing you back. If the odds are in my favor, I'm taking the case. Even if that means $100, I get to stay another day. That's fine. The pot doesn't really matter because he'll kind of make it up in the end. But at the time, all we're really told and fed by Joe and everyone else is like, get big money for the pot, get big money for the pot. But like, that money doesn't matter if you're not there to win it. And so in turn, it's one of those where like, if the odds are 2/3 I stay, I'm going to stop there. Like I wouldn't have played it as long as we did. One of the things that I would love to see though is, again, very Survivor. I would love to see the island split into 2 teams. And so all the challenges are team based. And then like when we get to like 8, the merge. And then I'd love to see like those personalities that we've seen, because I think that they just didn't have enough camera time to tell all the stories that they needed. And ironically, I think if you split it up, it almost gives people more time because there are bigger personalities that are allowed to evolve on both sides. For our big group, it was Will, David, Parvati, and probably like me, CK, maybe Letty on a good day. So like, it's one of those where like, other than that, you were like, I didn't know much about anyone else. And like, the thing is like, I think if you had split us in half, you would have seen Haishel become a hero or hilarious, either way. Shell become a hero. Storm would have had some, like, he's a great guy, a great player, but no one really got to see it. And so I think that splitting it in half might help that out a little bit.
And to piggyback, can I piggyback on that real quick?
Yeah,
I remember, less people safe.
Yeah.
That's, I think, was also the thing. Like, to me, like, Parvati skated for 9 weeks. Like, come on.
And she did not necessarily do well in the challenge every week.
Right.
It's just kind of how the game was.
Yeah.
And you were like, so like, yes, she's safe, but she didn't have to, okay. I don't want to say she didn't have to like work for it, because this, as we learn on Survivor, the social game is a game. But there were a few that like she didn't necessarily have to work that hard for.
So I had 2 things there. So one, we're talking about the eliminations, right? And we were just talking about, you said you would just take the odds right away. One of my favorite reality moments of this whole year or past, like, say, 6 months was the Dr. Will elimination.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Unreal. I mean, I was cackling out loud because of how much trolling he was doing, and like literally he was about to say deal right away, which again, his odds were technically in his favor. What was that like live? Like, were people really super pissed off at him, or like, do you think more people actually were more in on that? I mean, it was objectively a really funny like sequence.
As a viewer, I loved it, smiled from ear to ear. As a player, while I was there, I was like, I'm gonna murder this man. And it's okay. Here's the thing behind it, like the rationale. You have so many people there that need the money with, like, let's say, family members, in and out of the hospital or to give back to their parents. I know that Hazel was there just to like pay off her mom's house and everything and be able to give like back to her. And there's all these big stories and big personalities. And it just at the time, not now, but it just at the time felt so trivial to be like, I don't know, number one, number two, whatever, number three. And we're like, he's not even
So
trying. Like
friggin'
it was
fun.
just it, but as a viewer, I was applauding, I was clapping, like I was into it. But at the time,
Dying.
it felt like I don't need the money and it doesn't matter. When you look at it statistically, his way was just as good as anyone else's. But at the time, we were enraged.
You just made me think of a question. We haven't actually got to talk to any of the cast members. So, what are your thoughts on the? This is like, I know this is like a big thing of Deal or No Deal too. So I know people are going to watch this and be like, "Well, dude, the rationale for picking a number. My dad's favorite number was 3 because he only gonna make $3 a day. I'm going with 3. $20 million. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like, was that like, were you guys sitting there like eye roll? Like, I feel like you had to have eye rolled at some of these. Like,
You're like, you strike me as a big eye roller. This is true. But also, you're like, your reactions to everything throughout the season say you would have been eye rolling a lot. Yes. We were told to kind of give information
God,
for the
that's-
numbers. I didn't get to play, so I didn't have any real information. The only information I knew was that I was going to pick case number 12. I knew above all, the number 12 has kind of like changed my life, not only in being born in December and everything, but like I figured out who I was as a teacher of 7th graders because that was the worst school year of my entire life. We can all admit that is the worst school year of anyone's life. You're half a kid, half an adult, everybody smells, and you're like, this is the worst. And so I think being 12 is so hard. And like when I was going back into school, I was like, I think I'm going to teach middle school English. And they're like, how come? And I was like, because that was the worst year of my life. So I have to go back and make sure that these kids have the exact opposite experience in being 12. I want them to look back and like take ownership over being 12. And so I knew above all I was going to pick number 12. Anything other than that, I had not a clue. Not a clue at all.
To make stuff up.
just like it's like Brittany said, right? It's not a girl, not yet a woman, right? You know, so I feel yeah.
It's so true.
Preach.
I am neither.
Um, you mentioned Joe. We always like to ask about the host. I mean, Joe's a
Woo!
big celebrity, right? I mean, that's higher level celebrity than frankly most of these shows get. So, how accessible was Joe? Was Joe, and not like against Joe, but like, was it? Did you get a lot of access to him, or was he kind of shepherded in and out type thing?
This is very much like Dr. Will. I might ruin it for you. Joe is awesome, but you're like, that actually doesn't ruin it for me. That
No, Joe's
tells
great.
me exactly
He's
what
Deathstroke.
I need. Joe is amazing. Joe is he is a full Troy Bolton from High School Musical. He was supposed to go to college for a football scholarship. Instead, he said he wanted to go to Yale drama. He is a Shakespearean Yale drama trained actor. Like the man does not mess around. He's not just like saying the lines. There's no teleprompter. There's no like anything. He is making it up and making it work. And if it doesn't work, he goes, I didn't love that. Let's try it again like this. And he'll tweak and edit himself on the spot. It's insane. Like I've never seen anything like it. We talked about Broadway plays and musicals and stuff while we were waiting. Like Joe is the guy. Like if I hit Joe up on Instagram right now, he will answer. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, we liked him. I think he's probably one of our favorite hosts of the shows to
He
watch.
he was so genuinely invested in the game and who we were. It's so weird because after challenge number 1, some people are like running through the forest. Some people are like swinging. Y'all know I can't swim, so I'm like fighting for my life on that water. And I get there, put the briefcase on the thing, and he's like, "Okay, Phillip is in with a briefcase." They don't show it, but I literally put it down and I go, "Joe Manganiello knows my name. Joe knows my name." Like it's so weird. He knew who we all were. Like he did the work in advance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, he also I thought he like his shirts were pretty cool too. I
He
enjoyed his clothes.
the wardrobe on Joe, because it was like 97 degrees, not only did he have all the shirts you saw, he had more than one of those shirts on a hanger ready to go. He would switch them out halfway through. He's like, nope, sweat through it. I'm like, that's insane to me. Yes.
You mentioned that he does like act like things again. How many of those phone calls were like done again that I know he's not talking to the banker?
To be honest, every phone call you saw was in one take.
No, wow.
And
Okay.
they're never the same. I think that's how he keeps them fresh. He doesn't rehearse them at all. He just
Okay.
like he just makes them up on the spot. But what's actually happening at that point? It is all a very above board game. Like everyone seems to think that just because David's a celebrity, like the producers did something or whatever. I was like, no, we have like people from the, I don't want to misspeak on this, but like the competition gaming commission, whatever that may be called. There's someone from there on set. They're the only ones that know the numbers, not Ben, not Kamari, not Joe. So when you're watching people be surprised, they're surprised. Like nobody knows. And so it really does kind
Like
of
lottery people, basically.
Oh, yes, it really does like almost heighten the stress in the room because Joe can't help you. Joe doesn't know the number either. And so when you watch us all go, I wonder what's in there. And he's like, I wonder what's in there. And they're like, I don't know what's in here. It is
Okay.
real, genuine. We have no idea.
Do they play the sound, like the sad sound or the happy sound out loud?
No, it's normally us either screaming or not making a
That's disappointing.
single sound when you're like, and then the entire room is so silent. And you're like when Luke won the $1, you could have dropped anything. Could have dropped anything, and you just like we were all like, "Do we redo it?" We were like we didn't understand. We're like, "But it's the first episode, so how are we gonna end it like this?" It was so bad.
Oh my God.
That's
I really love that. You mentioned earlier on we were talking about our buddy Johnny. You name dropped House of Villains. So reality fan, what would you want to do next? I'm assuming you would be interested again. I think you're
I mean, do you guys think
pro.
it would be worth it to see me on another show?
Yeah.
There's only one correct answer, so you have to say yes. But anyway, I would love the challenge. I would love Traders. I would love any of those. I think that once you play show number one, you go in just kind of fish out of water, and your goal is survive. I would never do that again. I think I would always go into another show, and my goal would be now you have to win. I think that even if it involved a skill set I didn't have, whether it be swimming, iguanas, heights, or otherwise, I think it's really just one of those where you're like, no, now I'm playing to win. Now I understand how to. There are ways of playing without being a manipulative scumbag. I think there are ways around it. It's not like it's a small road, but you can figure it out where that if it came down to, let's say, a vote, a tribal council or whatever else, that the other cast members would be proud of the game that you played.
If you went on the challenge, you definitely need to learn how to swim.
Bro,
I would
Bryce,
yes, I would immediately.
you gotta go learn how to swim.
Who's the one that can't swim? Was
my
it Kylan?
plans. Sorry.
Kylan couldn't swim this past season, right? Was he the one who's having issues? Wasn't it Kylan?
Yeah, I think so.
He might have if it was on 41. I did not see 41. I saw All Stars because
Okay.
my boy, my friend now, which is so weird being on the other side of this. So now I'm friends with Frank Sweeney Hawks.
Yep.
And yeah, so like now, so
Okay.
he was coming to my class and we were training. He was training for All Stars Challenge. I was training for my show. And so like it's so weird how like now they all interact. And now I spoke to Shane from Love is Blind like this afternoon. Like it's like a weird reality fraternity that I'm a part of now, which is so strange.
Like Werewolf Shane?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's great.
Oh, that Shane? Like
A star.
that
That star.
one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Season 2, right? That was
How much
yeah.
of that is
Mhm.
is he like that? Like when you talk to him, is he normal?
Yes, he is. He is exactly what you saw on the show. I will say there have been very few people that I've met that weren't like they were on the show. And so I'm getting kind of tired of everyone being like, it's the edit. Like, I mean, they didn't give me a great edit but like I was there. I did all those things that wasn't AI, like that was me. So it was just a small part of me, but yes.
So I did a quick research thing here because I wanted to make sure I knew. So Brian, you were sort of right. So Kylan, that was season 40.
Yeah, 40. I
Uh,
don't think 41's aired yet.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
I think 41
Nah.
did
Nah, I think no, it was 40, then they went All Stars finally
All
came to
Stars.
MTV to
Okay.
MTV.
Yes, because 40 was the battle of the eras,
Eras.
and then 41 just finished filming, but it hasn't aired yet. Yes.
Okay. And Shane's with Julie, didn't we? We interviewed Julie from the Trust, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Look at this
she
small
came
world
to
right
my
here.
class as well, and she is amazing.
Yeah, we liked her. We had a good conversation with her. The Netflix world, man.
Our buddy
That's a
Nelson,
click.
our buddy Nelson, so he had issues too swimming back. It was like season 37. I don't think that Nelson will be a better swimmer now.
I
He's
don't
not gonna
know
better.
if you follow him on Snapchat.
He doesn't
The
have a
man's
foot.
been training for the Olympic. Like, I don't know what he's
Yeah,
training
but he doesn't have a
for.
foot.
Yeah, he can't do the challenge anymore.
He's missing a foot.
Yeah.
Okay, but like he got the prosthetic and now he can run and lift
Yeah,
and
but not
swim and do
swimming.
everything. So I'm like, I don't know
Hey,
what he is training for, but he's going to win, whatever that may be.
if he's going back on the challenge, he's got to stop being friends with Fessy, and he's got to stop being friends with some of those dudes. That's the downfall.
Ooh, you hurt Phil's feeling. That's a
No, I
Just speaking the
think
truth,
you're
man.
I think you're right. I think that
Of course.
that that like it's that group of like Fessy and Josh and like that group of
Corey.
like yeah, there's always a few of them that I'm like, I don't think you're gonna win this. So I need you to like keep your space from those guys because you're not gonna win this.
Cool. I would put Corey up here. I mean, then it's like Josh is all the way down here. Josh is on the floor. He's never won
Josh.
anything.
Well, that's so
We
we
won
were
Big Brother.
talking.
That's our big gripe against Big Brother.
That's what's started our entire
He's
Big
probably gonna
Brother
watch this
hate,
now. It's just so funny.
is we found out, and that our line always was to show that Josh could win.
Yeah,
We
if
want
Josh can win, I can win. That's how I put it.
That was an interesting season. I didn't clock Josh as a winner at all. But the thing with Big Brother, which I think like the only thing that I again love and hate is that on Survivor, on our show or whatever else, we can like people like us can clock the winners edit pretty early on, or at least like halfway through. You're like, okay, here are like the two people that could win this show based on confessionals, all other stuff like that. But on Big Brother, there's never a winner's edit. So sometimes you get a winner where you're like, we weren't ready for that. We just like weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point, honestly. And listen, we have like one of our big contributors, friend of the show, Kyle. Like he literally huge Big Brother guy. I mean, more people are on your side of the fence than us, right? I think if we I think we get away with it too because we cover so many shows that we're like, oh, we just got other stuff we're covering.
And you said you watch this, and I think that's one thing is like we will tell we're not going to sugarcoat anything, even if it's a show we like. If it stinks, we're going to tell you it stinks. And I mean that's kind of where we
Like
stand.
Jeff Probst is never going to invite us
Yeah.
to anything fun. Like never get to go to a PR event ever because we're just like such whiny assholes about Survivor because we're just so annoyed by it. Like, I mean, for like 5, 6 seasons straight, it's just basically like me trying to get Brian to not hate it episode 1. And then by like episode 4 or 5, we have a cut of me literally being like, no, this thing won't happen next week. It can't happen. And then it happens because they literally do the same thing every season. So again, like I think even though we did have criticisms of your season, I thought it was like frankly a way big improvement on season 1. And
Yeah, season 2 is way
hate
better.
watch your show, and we hate watch a lot of stuff.
I can tell because I still don't know what you thought of episode 10, 11, or 12. So what I'm going to ask you now is what did you think of how the season concluded? Did you like the last excursion and bringing people back, so on, like so forth?
I'll tell you the thing I didn't like. I didn't like that they broke it up. Like this, I think it
Yeah,
took me
that's
out of it
right.
because like we had that thing, the big final challenge, and then like the whole episode was David playing Deal or No Deal Island, pretty much. So like, just make it either 2 hours or an hour 30, and I don't know, shorten it up. I mean, some of it was cool. Like I kind of liked honestly the ending of season 1 where like they're all running through a field, things like that. Like there's things I would like and things I don't like.
Okay, so I have insight on that. Not necessarily an explanation, but like insight. So the final excursion and David's game in my head, as we were living it, was supposed to be kind of one episode.
Mhm.
But the issue with our game is you can't edit. And because we had, I want to say 24 cases, 26, we can't edit out. Let's say
Yeah.
you're looking at the screen and there's 12. We can't bring it down to 9
No, I
because
get
you as
that.
a viewer would be like, but what happened to those other 3? So because he played so many rounds, we had to play the game in its entirety. And that took up the entire
Yeah.
episode. Like if you look back at Jordan season 1, I think she only played 3 or 4 rounds and David played like 6. So they were like, uh-oh, there's
Yeah.
no way to cut things out and still be able to like explain the game. As far as the challenge at the end of season 1, we expected something like that.
Yeah, same.
And that is the reason why, no matter which one of us were going to the finals, PK was coming with us. She was wearing a knee brace and couldn't run anymore after she fell off the balance beam and went on down to hell. So she fell off the balance beam, right?
That was the
And
mud game, right?
yeah.
That was funny to watch. Sorry.
So she fell and she hurt herself. So like we were like, oh, if it's a foot race or an obstacle, we need to bring her with us. And so that's why everyone's like, how did she end up at the end? I was like, because she was a liability. It made
Yeah,
the
right.
most sense.
Right. That totally makes sense to me.
What did you think of the final structure now that you are back and watching it? You know, what do you think?
I think that I loved it only because of the game I played. I have to think to myself, would I have been successful if that were me? And I was like, yeah, I treated everyone well until the day I left. I was like, even the day I left, it would have been easy for me to give David the middle finger and walk away, pissed off in anger or whatever else. But I was like, but why though? It's not going to change anything. And because I had such an amazing experience, I feel like my exit speech, my exit, whatever else, needs to reflect what I learned instead of how angry I am. So
I
for
don't
me, I was like, this is great because it does put the emphasis back on treating people well. And that's why they made me decide the winner of the show. They're like, we're going to put you at the end because we feel like you're like a moral. I was like, oh God, oh no. And that's how we got here.
Do you think Letty would agree with you?
Yes. Okay. Number one, no, that she doesn't agree with anything. But I will only explain it like this. There was a lot of David's life that was not broadcast just for like privacy reasons and stuff like that. And in owning a home and having 4 kids to go to like college, university, or whatever else, they're all in middle school and up. So like it's all happening like pretty quick. You guys like have kids, you understand, 4 kids. Also, he won Australia once. The prize for Australia is nowhere near the prize for like America. It's like half. And so then you have to imagine if you're walking away with 350,000 to 500,000, if you own a home and have 4 like kids of your own,
Yeah, it's gone.
you're not walking around sitting on money. Like I'm sorry. So for
No, no.
me, right. So for me, what happened is I gave Letty the highest one. I wasn't letting her leave without the highest one. And for him, I said, yo, listen, I'll let you pick which one you want. And if the universe wants you to win, you'll win. And I let him pick that one, which happened to be the highest one. I did not hand it over, even though the edit might suggest that. But the edit also doesn't show that before that happened, he explained being on Survivor Australia and why he didn't like tell me and everything. Like he did a whole big explanation to me before then. And so that's why I was like, who am I to tell this man with kids and a family or whatever else, I'm gonna lie to you to make sure I get a big moment on NBC. No, like that, like that's just not me.
Makes sense.
We obviously wrapping up. We want people to 2 things I always like to ask. One, where people can find you, what you have going on, but also I like to ask everyone for their shows. If you could just encapsulate kind of if you think back on the show now, you think about someone says Deal or No Deal Island. What do you think? What do you say?
I say that has been the experience on Deal or No Deal Island was probably my best and worst moments all combined into one. I would say hashtag Harriet Tubman. And I'm going to go with that. I think it's enough where you're like, you know what? Okay, that is fair. And in the meantime, on social media, people can find me at P. Solomon 12, all O's, Solomon, number 12, because again, 12 is a significant number. So please hit me up, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I respond to pretty much everything. But in the meantime, please keep watching, supporting, all that other stuff. It has been an absolute blessing to just be able to be in your home for 12 weeks, or if you're YouTube, 9 weeks. It's been a pleasure.
We
But it's
watch. We
been
still
so
watch.
absolutely awesome.
We
Oh, we
still watch.
watched a lot. We definitely watched. We just, again, and look, it's one of the things it was a good reassuring thing for us, Brian and I. We kind of always started it. Our philosophy always was, if one person's going to watch it, we'll do it. And you just kind of like reaffirm that for us, right? Like, hey, like it may not be 1,000 on everyone watching, but there are people that are watching. So, I mean, again, I appreciate it. It was good. It was good advice. It's a good reminder for all of us. So,
Yes.
Philip, we'll link everything. We'd love to have you back on, man. I know you watch everything. So anytime you just want to hop on, just like you do with Johnny, you want to do some reviews, man, you just hit us up. It's an open door.
I'll talk anything, including Survivor Australia, because now I watch it. So cool, great.
There we go.
Everyone, check out Philip. If you haven't watched Deal or No Deal Island season 2, go check it out now. It's on Peacock, the full second season there, and the whole first season. But Philip, again, thank you so much, man. It was an awesome conversation. Until next time, for myself and Brian, thank you everyone for watching. Peace.